Hello all, welcome to MEP TV, Webisode 2. As everyone is getting ready to wrap up the year, we've got one more webisode before we say hello to 2021. 2020 was a year unlike any, and it's safe to say that we have all learned to do some things differently. And for many F&B operators, it was a year to be different. This webisode, we took some time to chat with some business owners and operators. Enterprising owners like Larry Lam of Superfine and Tiffany Lim of Mihimihi, who are forging ahead with their business with new outlets or expansion despite the rage of the pandemic in the last few months. And also the general manager of Santan, Catherine Goh, on how food in the Santan menu is not just meals on board an airasia flight, but how they're staying relevant on the ground and expanding as well. This webisode also sees us looking at a familiar equipment that could possibly bring back the contact that a chef prefers, the contact of a hot and sizzling kind. So, first up in techniques, let's zoom ourselves into a kitchen in Singapore where we stepped out of a box and into a pan instead. Zoom mode on. Out of a box, into the pan. The tilting pan, that is. For us at MEP TV, it has always been about the technology. In most commercial kitchens, the combi oven has become one of the most recognized equipment. The box marvel has always been regarded as a good soldier and multitasker, with multi-trays and functions performing accurately with presets and a probe. But have we given technology too much of a free rein when technology now runs and cooks much of our delivery menu with a press of a button? In Asia, the sizzle and hiss of delicious food is always welcomed, and the vision of a chef at work over heat is an attraction for some. Today's small and compact work areas requires compromise, and if you want that hands-on contact cooking experience from a combi, it might be lacking some ways. Yet for any chef, it is that hands-on contact cooking experience that makes you unique, and there is now a way that you can enjoy both of two worlds. Hands-on cooking experience when you want or need, or pressing that button when technology can save you time and ensure consistency. What we're referring to is the reintroduction of the familiar tilting pan. There is a new look at this big equipment normally associated with large volume cooking, where an iVario Pro from Rational is making the tilting pan an equipment that can boil, fry, deep fry, and even pressure cook, be it for a banquet or an a la carte menu. Often associated with cooking large volumes and often big in size, what these pans offer are accurate temperature-controlled pans with zones that sizzle as you cook with contact, and yet being able to accommodate the change when you need to switch and cook a large batch of your popular menu item. So, putting it to the test, we got busy with an iVario Pro 2S at Rational's showroom in Singapore to cook 3 items at the same time. Our thanks to Rational for letting us explore the new unit. This unit comes with 2 individual pans instead of just a big one. For one side of the pan, we are going to work on some simple deep frying. Spring rolls. With a quick run through of the setting, we filled up the pan with oil, got it heated up, and the basket was lowered automatically. Leaving the rolls to cook on its own, we started our test to prepare 2 items using iZone control settings on the other pan. We programmed 2 areas, a zone at the top and another at the bottom. To explain it easily, with the iZone control, the pans have areas that can be individually configured in terms of size and position. They are heated independently of one another, and they are also operated centrally via the display of the cooking system. With the settings done and a quick drizzle of oil, we started with the fish. A simple ikan pari or stingray grilled to be crispy on the outside while still juicy on the inside. This would totally depend on the chef's skill to know when best to turn for the crispy skin with the searing done evenly with contact cooking. And in the same pan, on the other end, we have Chinese pan-fried dumplings or guo tie, a northern Chinese dumpling typically filled with minced pork, Chinese cabbage, scallions, ginger, rice wine, and sesame seed oil that requires a good browning for that crispy skin. We place the kuotie onto the pan on their sides for it to brown accordingly. And with two items cooking at the same time, you can use the probe here on the fish to help you ensure that the inside are cooked and safe for consumption. As we're putting the probe in the fish, the spring rolls were done and the basket was raised automatically. We left it much on its own and its monitoring function made it easy. You can remove the items and start with a new batch of fried items if you wish to. A close-up of the kuotie. The browning looks good and it was easy to remove as it doesn't stick onto the pan. So now that we are done with the kuotie and fish, you can remove the items from the pan and all you need is a quick wash and wipe down and get started on your next menu. Though we didn't need to clean it personally, its non-stick surface just needs a quick scrape and wipe down to start using and reheating it again. The unit's small footprint is another plus point as its size makes adopting it easier to place in your kitchen. Something different, yet familiar, with the contact cooking for a skilled chef, but also one who takes advantage of technology when needed. So, if you're considering a new game plan for your kitchen production in 2021, give the team at Rational a call and experience a hands-on contact with the iVario Pro. And now, it's back to the studio. If you've taken an AirAsia flight to anywhere in Asia, you would probably remember the stewardess saying, "It's available in the pocket in front of your seat." Besides the safety card and Travel 360 magazine, for AirAsia, there is their well-loved Santan menu, a smorgasbord of ASEAN flavors and ingredients. After having served 600 million passengers in the skies, enjoying the signature Pak Nasir's nasi lemak or Uncle Chin's chicken rice is no longer limited to a seat on board, but right here on the ground, with the opening of Santan restaurants in the Klang Valley in 2019. After having opened their 4th, 5th, and 6th outlets in the last few months during the movement control order, Cathy joins Catherine Goh, General Manager of Santan, as we ask her, why should we walk into Santan for airline food when we have abundant options on the ground?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, and we are now here at Santan in Mid Valley. Yeah, so this is known as AirAsia on the ground or AirAsia meal on the ground, right? Okay, but the thing about having meals on board, well, depends whether you're a first class or economy class.
True.
Some experiences are, well, it depends, okay? But why what brought about Santan on the ground?
Okay, actually we started to rebrand into Santan from AiraSia Cafe in 2015. Back then it was just selling like cold sandwiches, snacks that you typically get from other airlines. Then we realized that, hey, we wanted to offer something different. We wanted to offer our DNA and what we are good about, right? ASEAN, when you talk about ASEAN, a lot of people come here for food. A lot of people travel for food. So, then we thought, hey, why don't we rebrand into Santan and really like sell our panas and nasi lemak? And then that's how it comes about Santan. And then since the rebrand, right, it was a big hit, honestly. Okay. And then a lot of people request for like, can they actually take away the food on board? Can corporate cater for, the nasi lemak, the chicken rice, and so on and so forth. So we thought, wow, it was pretty impressive. We didn't expect that. And we used to look like 20, 30 nasi lemak in boxes for our passengers to bring home to like Hong Kong, to Singapore. Okay. Yeah, so for a lot of people, it might not be very common, but for us, we have done it a few times. you don't need to travel, but you still can enjoy portions of the pan nasi lemak.
Okay.
That's why.
So, but the thing here is, nasi lemak is one of the most common item in every street in Malaysia, or rather in KL. You say people tapao, or they take away in Singapore and Hong Kong. Yeah, it's understood. But how are you going to compete with the local stores that is all around KL? I could get a nasi lemak around the corner, 3 stores in a row. So what is?
I completely agree with you. Nasi lemak is everywhere. It's a national dish. So what we're good at is our nasi lemak has got a name, has got its DNA to it, right? Our passengers who eat it recognize it is, right? They taste it, they know this is the pan nasi lemak. The other one is not. Even you do a blind test, everybody can tell because the taste is very significant.
Okay.
Of course, I feel like our food carries memory compared to any nasi lemak down on the streets.
Okay.
Because people, especially now, right, MCO, you can't travel. A lot of people miss airasia because of the food.
Okay.
That's why it works during MCO. It kind of triggers a lot of travel memories with your loved ones. Food, I always say food is love. Food is memory. You remember the taste of the meal that your mom cooked for you.
Correct.
That's why food triggers a lot of memory, triggers a lot of emotions. Hence, I think pan nasi lemak has made it to that stage that it brings back a lot of good memories during your travel.
So when you talk about Santan, I mean on air we know it's on board, okay? But what about the concept of it on ground? What is the concept, and actually who are your target market when it comes to Santan on ground?
Yeah, so when we open a restaurant, we don't just think of, hey, we just want to open one and whatever. We already have a very thorough business model that we want to franchise us. So we want to make it, if you have been to Santan, you would know that it's a quick service restaurant. It's digitally and data driven restaurants. It's not like any F&B restaurants that is opening and booming right now, right? So for us, it's fast food, meaning it's QSR chain franchise model. Yeah.
Okay. So that is, but who are your target market?
Anybody, all walks of life, as long you love ASEAN food.
Okay.
Not just the nasi lemak. We have different sort of food from different ASEAN countries.
Okay. But in terms of the menu that you have on board and also here, there are differences, of course, right? I see some items that are still on board, not available. Are you planning to carry all the items from?
So, yeah, right now the plan is 30% signatures that we bring it from on board, else our customers will be very angry. You have to sell the pan nasi lemak here, the Uncle Chin chicken rice, the nasi padang. So there are certain others that are not sold on board, like the chicken inasal with garlic rice from Philippines, like the Thai basil chicken, which we carry at the restaurants. So for us, restaurants and airlines complement each other. So at restaurants, we can do a lot of experiment, we can do a lot of product development, and then we can test the market. If it sells well, then we put it on board. So for onboard, it's already, because onboard always face the issues of wastage.
Yes.
Right? So we need to make sure that it's the best selling products, we put it on board. So that we can reduce the wastage and then plan the demand better.
Okay. This will pertain more to food quality. Okay. Of course, when most meals are prepared in central kitchen, we spoke a little bit about this. In terms of how to remain consistency and making sure that every outlet of Santan, I will get the same experience. How are you, working on that, or how are you maintaining your quality when it comes to the food that you serve?
It's like any QSR restaurants, right? The food has to be produced and manufactured and cooked centrally, packaged centrally, and then at the outlets there's minimal cooking already. That's why the consistency we can control at the very top. Hence, any outlets at Santan, you taste the food, it's all tastes the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So minimal manpower handling, I would say, is a trick to consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that the concept is, like you say, it's a QSR. So everybody is take service. I mean, it's self-serve, right?
Yeah.
And I see that you have a kiosk in terms of ordering. Are adoption of those easier now compared to before?
Definitely, because MCO, customers try to avoid a lot of human touch. That's why they tend to order more from the self-order kiosk and also from the website and also from airasia food. Yeah.
Okay. Talk about MCO, food delivery. So I think the way your food is packed, it makes absolute sense to extend into delivery. But actually, for a business or someone who wants to go into the delivery business, what kind of advice would you give someone? What would they need to look at? How would they need to?
For me, depends on who deliver your food.
Yeah.
So from business point of view, of course, is the aggregator commissions. It's very important. That's why AirAsia Food offers very, very attractive commissions to help the business to survive through the journey, right?
Okay.
So of course, for other aggregators, everybody knows that the commissions is sky high.
Yes.
So it doesn't kind of make business sense, to be fair, to just run on food aggregator and just rely solely on that. Hence, I think AirAsia Food provides a very good options and expansions for business that can focus on delivery.
Okay.
Yeah.
But having other food with Santan in the same portal, any conflict of interest?
Why not? I believe and I love competitions, right? Because I don't think that competition kills business. I feel like competitions actually brings up the market and the marketing more. The more brands that is in the market, the more visibility, the more it will convince customers and reduce the education cost.
Okay.
Look at bubble tea. The moment you have tons of bubble tea, everybody benefits, not just one or two. Of course, some will do better, some will do so-so, but as a united or unity effort, I think competition brings more into market shares and helps business more in terms of improving sales and market presence.
Variety. Yeah. Okay. So one other thing that I noticed is everything is, like we say, your food is packed. So I assume they all come in disposables, right? That's going to be like forever for Santan, is it? Or is it because of MCO? I mean, when you talk about dine-in or food service today, one other big thing is we're always talking about the amount of waste we generate when it comes to food or even what we use to eat. So for AirAsia, or rather for Santan, is it always going to be disposables in the restaurant or?
Yes, that's the directions because of QSR.
Okay.
Because you want quick service, you want fast, on-the-go kind of packaging. But our packaging is eco-friendly.
Okay.
We use paper box.
Okay.
Even our utensils are compostable. It's made of cornstarch. A lot of customers think that, hey, we shouldn't give plastic utensils. Actually, we really put in a lot of efforts in terms of packaging development. Hence, we found this supplier that produce cornstarch utensil for us. Because when it's plastic, right, it's very flimsy.
Yeah.
So especially we have a lot of chickens and stuff.
Okay.
You poke it in, then you take it
break
will
it.
break, right?
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of experience. That's why I tell my customer, don't worry, just poke it and tear it, it won't break because it's cornstarch.
But of course, it comes with a high price as well.
We all need to play a part in the efforts of environment.
Yeah.
Right? I think governments and businesses all need to play a part, and soon consumers. I think a lot of consumers now actually are advocating of environmental friendly more than the business.
Okay.
Right. Hence, when we tell them it's not plastic, it's cornstarch, it will be like, wow, I don't mind to pay more even if you charge more. That's the feedback that we got from consumers.
Okay, then that's good. Good to hear.
But we don't charge more. We bear it.
Okay, but going forward, what are the plans for Santan? I understand now you have 7 outlets and growing.
Right. So by end of this, actually by next Monday, we will have 7 outlets in total. 2 owned by us, and then 5 owned by franchisee.
Okay.
And then by December, another 3. So in total, this year we will have 10 outlets.
10 outlets.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, they are all different size, different locations.
Correct.
Okay. Ideally for Santan, you want to be in a mall or you want to be in a shop?
Honestly, I want both, right? As long as the locations is good, the footfall is good, why not?
Okay.
So really the vision is to be everywhere. Yeah,
Okay.
for Santan.
Going back to the COVID-19, okay, do you have a number of the amount of volume that you all were doing in a day?
So from January till like October, we did about 35,000 takeaway.
Okay.
So of course, the first MCO we did very well because we pivoted very fast thanks to our whole serving format because
Okay.
it's already in paper container. So it's very easy for delivery, for takeaway. So from then on, we actually open up, I think it's like 3 weeks down MCO, we actually open up 3 satellite kitchens to cater for the delivery demand. So I think a day we did about like 700 meals.
Okay,
Yeah,
but for anyone who comes into Santan, what is the experience that they want them to walk out with?
Of course, the food is good is number one. For me, I'm a very product person. I believe in good food and then word of mouth, right? And then second, of course, is the hospitality. That's why we put in a lot of efforts in people training. We want to give customers the best experience in terms of people, services. Hence, we hired back a lot of retrenched cabin crew and pilots to actually be our service crew because they're already very well trained from the airlines. Then put them in the restaurants, you expect a different level kind of service and warm. Like, Tony has mentioned, if you go to McDonald's, you wouldn't even remember the staff. But you come to Santan, you will know and you remember the staff. If you go to Google, you can see that a lot of our good review is about our staff.
Okay.
It's about the service. So I feel like, food doesn't just come with like taste and then the look of it, but also it comes with like a whole experience in terms of who served you. Yeah, that makes you remember.
Okay, so Santan is not just the food, it's the service and...
It's a quick service, but quick service doesn't mean no service, right?
Yeah. Okay. Quick service doesn't mean no service. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. A question on initiatives that the company put forward, right? Something like what you mentioned with terms of retail. What about for someone who wants to start really small? What options does airasia have for me?
Really small in terms of F&B, restaurants and stuff.
Correct.
Okay. I think we're working on 2 projects. One is the cloud kitchens, of course.
Okay.
So it's a prelim stage. We want to look into whether it's feasible for us to operate cloud kitchens, meaning that it's like a co-working space, but for kitchen operators.
Yep.
And that can give you like maybe just a 10% out of a total of how much you would spend in opening like a brick and mortar restaurant, but focusing more on delivery.
Okay.
We think we can do that is because our whole ecosystem complement that kind of business model. Because of course we built the hardware, and then you just bring in whatever you need to. You just focus on cooking, and then we help you market, we help you deliver because we have airasia food.
Correct.
And airasia is a marketing company. Right? We're very good at branding. So I think and of course, we have our farm, which is right now Santan Farm, that actually helps to get raw material from the farmers and direct to the business. Okay. So that end of the day, right, the kitchen operators or the cloud kitchen operators will enjoy a higher net profit margin compared to them opening a restaurant on their own or opening just a delivery kitchen but tap on other food aggregator.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of food that do well, I mean, rice with dishes or ingredients on the side, then it works well for delivery. What other kind of food do you think would work well for delivery that this is based on your experience?
What other kind of food that I think would work well? I think right now delivery is very chunky, right? And then all the packaging is very innovative.
Correct.
I think a lot of things would work. We actually tried nasi lemak ice cream.
Okay.
It worked for delivery also.
Okay.
Because the delivery time frame right now is very short compared to last time it's like 1-2 hours. Right now within 30 minutes you get your food. So you still get like a very nice frozen ice cream.
Okay. The other thing is your food. I mean, of course, everything that comes up from your kitchen is cooked and warm, right? Are there any plans to sell them frozen so that if I'm gonna fly to another country, I can carry with me and maybe have it 1 month down the road?
Very smart, definitely. We in fact already have ready to eat a frozen meal. Okay. We actually have nasi padang, nasi lemak, and also a few other dishes like the beef rendang and stuff for frozen delivery.
Okay.
So, of course, we target, right? We work with Teleport very closely to do like 1 day ASEAN delivery. Hopefully one day, very soon, we can deliver our nasi lemak in frozen to like Singapore, Indonesia within half a day or 1 day.
But at the moment, it's not for sale yet.
At the moment, it's for sale in Klang Valley. Yeah, as we expand more franchise to other states, then we can do that as well.
So I can order it here or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So on days that I'm lazy to I just pop that into a...
That's our best selling during MCO, in fact. Because
Really?
people don't
Okay.
want to order like, one meal per time because you need to pay high delivery fee.
Yes,
So they
yes.
order a lot of our RTE and then they
Okay.
stock it up in the freezer. Then every day they just microwave.
Okay.
It tastes fresh, tastes the same.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so Catherine, thank you very much for your
Thank you
time.
so
Yeah,
much.
I look forward to more Santan all around.
Thank
yeah,
you, Katie.
and best wishes to Santan and Asia.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks.
The Halton Sentinel is a high-capacity UVGI filtration device that can be placed just about anywhere there is a potential for virus spread to minimize the probability of infection.
Thank you, Catherine and Cathy. It is great to hear of brands pushing ahead and coming up with new ways to stay ahead and stay relevant at this time. And there are many more who are working hard to keep their outlets and brand afloat. From big brands to your neighborhood operators, F&B sectors were the hardest hit as owners and operators were faced with challenges every day while having to operate under strict SOPs and for some, having to adopt the delivery mode and all its drama. In our last segment, we speak to two young enterprising owners, each working hard and staying focused as we look forward to the new year.
Though Mihi sounds like an exotic Hawaiian offering, it is actually a licensed brand from China with a menu item from France. Brought into Malaysia by Yum Labs, Managing Director Tiffany Lim talks how taking small steps and having the right menu item helps.
Means to greet or welcome people. Yeah, so our signature product is a long French puff with mascarpone custard inside. So all our French puff, like there's no coloring, no preservative, and less sugar. Actually, we keep an eye on food trend by using social media like Instagram and Facebook. So we use it to discover what is the latest trend at pastry shop or cafe around the world. So that we can continue to develop new flavor. So that they are really interested, our customer very interested to try lah. Yeah, we have actually we have Gula Melaka ice cream. This one is also our best seller. Yeah, but that one is only can dine in, cannot take away. Yeah, because it's ice cream. We do provide training and SOP. So during the training, we will explain to our staff why they need to follow this and what is the impact if they didn't follow the SOP. So besides that, oven is very important for us because our puff is very sensitive. The heat must be even and steady, and we need to have enough moist. The steam, our puff only can rise. I think it's very important, right, to understand your target market and the way to reach them during this pandemic. So it's very important. Actually, after they place order, we only bake the puff, so it's fresh. Actually, our business is affected, but I think there are only few choices for all the business out there. It's whether you stay at your comfort zone or you adapt to change. So since MCO, we started to focus on our delivery service. Customer, they still can enjoy our French puff, even they don't feel like going out. So it's very convenient, very easy and very safe also for now.
Superfine opened in January 2020 in a neighbourhood mall in Petaling Jaya. Capturing the Melbourne cafe vibe, founder, Larry Lam, talks about his challenges and what inspired him to expand and open Gaga Cakes just a couple of weeks ago.
Superfine was founded around January of 2020, this year, and I founded Superfine because I couldn't find a place that has good coffee, good food, and a good place at the same time. So that is the three aspects that we set out to kind of achieve in one single place. I was in specialty coffee field. I was a barista for at least 5 years. So that very much influenced me on the Melbourne cafe culture. And we bring back, Melbourne cafe culture. It's something of a melting pot of culture. In Australia, there's Chinese, there's Japanese, there's Korean, there's Middle Eastern. That is reflected in our menu as well. I think Malaysia is very, very different. As in Australia, they are a bit more casual, they love the sunlight, and they like to sit in communal tables, which we also tried by putting 2 long communal tables at our side. But I still think Malaysia, they like their own space, they like to sit at the corner, and they don't like to sit out in the hot sun. So definitely quite different, but we try our best to bring as much as we can to Superfine. For our menu, we actually break down into 3 sections. We have our breakfast, we have our brunch, and also we have our dinner menu. So every specific category has very different offerings. So for breakfast, we focus more on pancakes or full English breakfast and things like salads and vegan bowls. But for lunch, we have something more substantial, things like burgers, fried chicken, and we also have a bit pasta here and there. And for dinner, it's an entirely different menu. For dinner, it's a bit more experimental. I plug things that I like, and we have Japanese, we have Middle Eastern, we have Chinese. It's kind of here and there, so it's very tough time, very, very tough time. We had 2 very good months in the month of January and February, but then when MCO strikes, it really hits us hard. First of all, we have to control our inventory. We should prep according to the crowd that we have to minimize wastage, and that's something that we learned very hard during the MCO period. I would say a very small part, because I believe building up a cafe is very much the dining experience. That's why that's never our priority to kind of focus on the delivery game. But MCO strikes, and then we have to adapt. Okay, that's actually quite a deep question to me. I mean, when I was studying for law, I spent a lot of times in specialty cafes. So I went to different cafes and I would spend 5-6 hours there just to study. And at that moment where I find out making a cup of coffee is just not a push of a button. There's a lot of effort and knowledge that goes into a cup of coffee. And where the coffee is grown, how the coffee is processed, and until how the barista brews it. And that kind of captivates me to know more about specialty coffee. And at that moment, I fell in love with cafe culture. In terms of hot kitchen, right now I think I have about 6 full-timers. And for our baker team, we only have about 2. How do I manage it is mainly being very hands-on. I mean, every single inch of space You gotta utilize it. Style of managing the kitchen is inspired by Kaizen. It's a continuous improvement. So like every single part where we could make our process a bit easier, I would go for it, no question asked. And I have quite a democratic style in the kitchen where I always want the feedback from the cooks. We try to squeeze out every hour that we have with the oven. So my baker team will come in really early in the morning, 6 to 3, and 3 onwards, the hot kitchen, we utilize it for production. So that's kind of our way to go around it. Consistency, that's definitely one of the most crucial criteria of a successful kitchen. What I've taught my team is taste, taste and taste. So every time they serve something, I want them to love and respect the food that they serve. I think Gaga was unplanned. It was very, very spontaneous. So the mall owner actually offered us a new lot next to Superfine, and we were thinking, what could we do with this new place? You know, it's not very big, it's not very small. So then we think of, what do we love more other than savory food? It's of course desserts, something to complement what Superfine is. And I think it's kind of a trend now too, having like a bakery or patisserie. So we just came out with this idea in less than a month. So less than a month we say, oh, let's do it. And 1.5 months later, Gaga happened. First of all, I think we want to do something different from other places. And I mean, everybody can open a cafe, but what are we bringing different onto the table? So that is our main kind of target. We want to give them something different. We want them to experience a little bit different taste or experience. So I hope that maybe one day they come to Superfine, they don't know about this dish, but after they dine in, they will have a new dining experience in terms of flavors.
Thank you to Larry and Tiffany. We are behind you and all F&B operators as everyone works hard and continues on in this new normal. Thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed your time with us. We will be back in 2021 with more stories and insights. I know that there will be more good news and good vibes coming after the year that we've had, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to it. The team and I would like to wish everyone a happy new year. Stay strong, stay safe, and see you in 2021.